Okay. So, considering recent events, I'm staring at a picture of 147303. And if you know what I'm talking about, then no explanation required. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then no explanation will do. The greatest failure of authority is not heeding the warnings of an outside source because of either an organizational structure, the idealisms and theoretical ideologies of jurisprudence or justice and authority, because authority is that which provides justice. You know, the exercise and the holistic involvement, let's put it like that. You know, I've had like 3 beers by now, so whatever. You see, the hegemony of the ego is the paramour of failure. Excuse me for a second as I relieve my lower intestines. As I said in the previous video, sometimes there's justice. And then sometimes there's just us. How can I frame this to be understood? There is far more going on in the current contemporary existence of warfare. You know, the gloves are off. You know, like I've been trying to show this through my own demonstration, that you have to be willing to punch concrete in order to get your point across. And when egos like EGO, when egos prevail, systems fail. We no longer exist in a vacuum and of this interdisciplinary separation, this postmodern, post-internet epoch. This may come to a shock as to some of you who are currently serving, but the greatest resource that the military has is the young people it is trained. Because there's always another threat beyond the horizon here. And I'm not going to sit here and discredit the service and the years and the aptitude of the people that are in higher positions of power and of privilege. I won't. Because there's just some information that I just don't know, quite frankly. But I see the face of the Loadmaster in this picture. You know, I don't quite see the face of the pilots. But I understand, as an aircraft mechanic and as an amateur engineer, how much effort is required to construct this very vessel that is 147303. and having worked on property, that for which is used by Canadian Forces members, I would like to think I have more weight in my authority than other people. But the greatest fault of any person is ignoring the people that don't have any authority, that are outside of the system, that are outside of the construct that is the organization. Because threats, as they are at this very moment in 2023, I don't have my watch on right now because it's recharging, whatever, right? As it is in July 28th, 2023. When we ignore the information and the signals outside of the construct, the societal and the institutional construct, because that's the argument of the far left, is that everything is a construct. But this isn't the case when it comes down to placing a rivet in a hole and smashing it into place. Because I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Have you ever held a rivet in your hand? Have you ever taken a shot that you couldn't take back? And I'll tell you right now that I have. Because there's a lot of operations as a structures mechanic that you can only do once. And the implications of taking that shot are permanent. I have been robbed of so many opportunities in my life because of the hegemony of egos and of the charisma of social dynamics. But these are the things that corrupt the true existence and, how should I put this? Persistence of power. I don't say these things to terrify anyone. I say these things having learned the lessons of warfare and of history. And my resolve and my support and my representation is infallible by my pattern of behavior. There will always be doubters and the word is slipping my mind at the moment. Charlatans, that's what it is. Charlatans. That claim to be and are not. You might say I say such things and state such things out of patriotism, for the support of the Canadian Forces. But again, sometimes there's justice. And then sometimes there's just us. In the instance of conflict, the choice always is, shall I eliminate the threat and preserve my life and preserve the lives of the people beside me? Or shall I die on the tip of the spear, the avant-garde? to achieve a far greater goal. A life well lived and well defined and of such character is worth far more than that of corruption. Because at least I will die knowing that I stood for something and that I died for something. For the prosperity of others. And for the prosperity of my lineage and my legacy. Because wars are fought and died for by the skin and the grit of those who pull the trigger. We have this idea that violence is the last resort. But the bellicosity of our existence is unignorable. And to most people, it is incomprehensible to take a life, to preserve the lives of others. But I'll say this now, and I'll say this forever, since this is being recorded. I would rather kill someone to preserve the lives of my family and my children than to sit there and take a bullet for being innocent. We no longer live in an age of innocence. We no longer live in an age of ignorance. Every single action after the post-internet epoch has a consequence. And we can no longer ignore the consequences of our actions. And I say this with cognizance. And I say this with a weight and a perseverance and an endurance and an emphatic, so a passionate argumentation that justice will prevail. But justice isn't what we thought it used to be. I may speak in such abstractionism and such gobbledygook by some people's perception. But I tell you, in my fluidity, in my observation of humanity, that I am valid and I am true to what I say. And that if there's no respect between different tribes of people within this world, then the only resolution is annihilation. Mutually assured destruction. I hate to say such things. I hate to say that an eye for an eye is justice. But it's coming to the point at this time in 2023, as of this recording, that some people, because of their intelligence, do not respect anything except violence. And I cannot do anything except stand here and watch as violence begets violence. And so I shall entitle this, In the History of Propaganda, The Fight Worth Fighting. I hope you get the message, because intelligence is a threat display, and creativity is a threat display. And by my aggression, and by my existence, and by my persistence, I am a threat to the entire world. Because this is what it is to be Canadian. Everyone seems to think that Canada is polite and soft and malleable amongst the world stage. But I tell you, at this very moment, that I'm willing to fight and to die for my idealisms. I would rather die knowing that I was justified than sleeping in my bed, complacent and ignorant, with my head in the sand of what it is to be alive in 2023. And so do you look at me and say, this man is insane. This man is unjustified. This man is unhinged. He's a vigilante. Fuck you. Sit on it and rotate. I got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Because we don't live in an existence of isolation anymore. And there is no excuse for ignorance. And that was proven and set as a precedent by the Nuremberg trials. So say we all, and all for one, and one for all. I am not a revolutionary. I am not a rebel. I am not responsible for the actions of other people and the reactions of other people. But what I am responsible is the weight of my own words. And the weight of my own words are completely and utterly justified. Because I do not deserve to be silenced. I do not deserve to be eliminated from the gene pool. I do not deserve the treatments that I get. Because I'm a threat to other people and their livelihoods. Because I'm smarter and I'm more adept and I'm more talented. And I'm more threatening. And I'm stronger than those around me. Because I support the other people in this existence and this country that is Canada. We are not a joke. We deserve respect. And our political leaders are complete and utter horseshit as of this moment. In July of 2023. Let us be clear. When there is no respect, there is only threats of annihilation, mutually assured destruction. The cultural precepts and pretexts at this moment, including, I'd like to say, the Batman or Oppenheimer. Because all it takes is 3 generations from wealth of knowledge to ruin. From wealth of resources to ruin. And we are on the precipice of submission. No, that's my dinner. No, Zoe, no. To external forces. So whether or not you believe me or not, This is a team effort. Thank you for listening and tolerating that which I am. Because this is what it is to be alive as a man in 2023. I hope you like this. I hope you're listening. I hope you understand. Because I will not insult you as the viewer and say that you're not. Look out for yourself and the people beside you. Because it's not going to get any weirder. It's going to get more and more obscure and clouded and incomprehensible.